Welcome, everyone, to this very special thing. Tonight I am joined, as you can see here or here, I do not know where, because my left and right might be different, and I suck, with my friend, my brother in arms, Vøid from Coma.
Hi.
He's one of the weirdest and one of the best person I've ever met in my whole life. As you can see, he has more tattoos on his face than I will ever have on my hand. Doesn't make it like fucking weird. He knows that I do not like the shit tons of piercings he has, but it's fine. Like that's how we go. Like with our friendship, you know, we bash each other up, you know, in the face and stuff. So in all ways, I am very happy right now because I really want to speak about Coma, because not a lot of people really know about my involvement in Coma. But before that, I will let my trusty friend here to just introduce a bit the band before, because I didn't join the band when it was just starting. And during that time, I'm gonna light up some incense because, I don't know, just maybe because I stink or something. So my dear friend, please introduce the band to the 3 viewers right now.
Okay, well, let's see. Coma started 2012, first as a solo project, but then evolved into a band until 2013, 2014. It was born kind of out of like, how do I say this? It was needed because I couldn't play drums anymore, so I had to put my mind on something else and started to work with synthes and stuff and black metal. And by 2016, Déhà joined, which was a fucking pleasure. It is a fucking pleasure. He's amazing. He's my right hand. And yeah, we're just like creating emotions, not even music. Like we make music out of emotions. We like fuck genres, fuck things like that. Just let the emotions speak and do what the songs need. And that's the whole approach since years actually.
Well, like when you started Coma, like there's been like a change. I mean, of course, I do know about the thing, but let's talk music. What does Coma do? We know it's emotional music, but what does Coma do in terms of music itself? What does make Coma unique?
I think we're firmly rooted in black metal most of the time, but I think the ambiences and the industrial influences really anchor what we are sonically. Like, I started, the first track I did for Coma was a Life Lover cover actually, after B died. And the entire roots, I could say, of the approach is black metal. But then again, black metal also has something to do with your ideology or how you view things. It's more like a lifestyle to me.
So like here we are actually, you know, going like with black metal as being, you know, the core of what Coma is, and then of course following what black metal is, which means not giving a shit in whatever we do. Like whether it is, you know, ambient, dark ambient, or like even happy music in a way.
Yeah, I think actually, yeah. Shit, I'm so not good at interviews.
I'm good, am I right?
Well, the thing is, just what you said, like fuck everything, and it also goes like with your approach of how to make music. Like if you make black metal and you truly take a huge dump on everything, you also start to get more introspective and work with that. And of course, there's no boundaries in what you want to express. So this kind of evolved from the early days of narcotic black metal with electronics and weird drum and bass stuff until the madness we have today, actually. It's just a road that's always growing and going steeper, I think.
What does make Coma unique? Like, I know you, like, not a lot of artists are able to do that, but I know you can, and I'm happy that you can do that. But what makes Coma unique, and what does make it that it's worth to people to listen to?
Do you mean musically wise or emotion wise?
Then you have 2 topics and 2 answers.
Nah. I think musically wise, it's pretty interesting that we kind of have the talent to like smoothly switch the genres and the moods during long ass songs. And many people tell me like that it doesn't feel like long songs because it's more like a movie that's running. And that was a really huge compliment to me. And emotionally wise, I think what makes Coma unique is maybe the thing that we put the feeling first and try to make sounds and music that fits to the emotion we want to put out. So it's much more like a collective therapy, I think.
I have a question which really made me in the very beginning when I joined the band as being a bit, aside, because you know me, so I'm pretty much of someone who is anti, anti getting drunk and harsh alcohol and drugs and all of these things. I mean, but that's my very personal opinion. Don't care about anyone else's. Coma has always been very edgy. Can you please tell me why this edginess is a part of the band and why it is needed? I have my own vision and answers, but I really want to hear yours. If these questions are annoying, you could send me to fuck off.
No. I'm just thinking. Well, I wouldn't even call it edgy. Edgy just implies that something is uncomfortable for you or the listener. So, back in the day, we were very self-destructive. Like, I drank a shitload, I was alcoholic, I was taking a shit ton of drugs. Like, it was just a fucking mess. And we wanted to express living situations and social situations in our hometown back in the day. Like Feldkirch, Austria, a very, very small town with a huge dark underbelly. But after Phantom Schmerz, the drug abuse and the drinking stopped pretty much. And I think it's a process of growing, and growing is always edgy to some people that find it uncomfortable. Like overcoming situations, overcoming borders and boundaries. Like you are at rock bottom, but somehow you realize it's not the end and you have to get yourself up again and continue. And that's just some truth that many people really don't like.
A lot of people have been telling me, that we do listen to depressing music in order to feel understood and to understand some stuff. I mean, which is of course normal in the kind of music that we're making. And this I mean completely aside from Coma. How do you put yourself as a music listener, like as a passive artist? How do you listen to music? Are you able to listen to any kind of music, that including, happy music and stuff which is really not depressing or depressive or this kind of stuff? Or do you really need only emotional music?
I will destroy every thought people had about this band because I'm a huge sucker for Nicki Minaj and churches. And I think you can listen to happy music, you can listen to whatever gives you a good feeling. If it's jazz, if it's electronic music, I don't give a fuck. I mean, of course there are times where depressive music gives you some form of strength, some force, some sense of being understood, and some power to go through this, to not feel alone. But there's also times where you can listen to happy music and you're just dancing shaking your fucking ass off and stuff. Like, the world is not just depressing.
Perfect. I just let this time so people can really digest what you just said, because that means a fuck ton. Because as far as I am concerned, as someone, that listens to music, I love to listen to any kind of music, and anything can give me anything. I truly believe that music heals, and it doesn't have to be depressing or depressive music that actually heals. I think it depends what you're listening to and how and when. I do remember I made an interview, and on that interview, someone asked me about how I do to be better, when I feel unwell and this kind of stuff. And I told them, like, first thing first, I am trying not to listen to any kind of depressing music. And they just look at me like, dude, like, you create and deal depressing music, what the fuck? And then I'm like, but at the same time, I mean, if you listen to anything, you know, which is completely like that, at some point you might just not be able to go back up. You need to help yourself. And this kind of music, what we do music-wise, I truly think it has this sense of music and emotion that really gets to us. And I would like to just spread a small part of the song from Phantom Schmerz, the song called Bridges. If that's okay, I would like to put the metal part that starts. I truly think that this will explain this better than anything else.
Okay, that's a good idea, but let me say something before we go into this.
Absolutely.
I really believe that if you make depressive music, if you make music that really makes you feel down and really depressed and really given up and stuff, I think you take this as a musician. When you create music, you take this emotion and you build a little house for it where it can live there. You kind of exercise the feeling and put it in a song, and it's there. And yeah. You don't need to feel it all the time anymore. I think that's the healing portion of music. I think you can take emotions and give them a place to live where they don't harm you anymore in your everyday life.
That is exactly true. That is exactly true. And I think that this is why we create music. I think this is a point in time, like some kind of a picture of something that we had to say at some point, and then when it is said, it's out of this world. Like it's out in the world, and like, in a way, it can't hurt us anymore, in a way. Like, if we did it well, I truly believe. So let me just put this volume back up right now and just make people do that. So we both need to shut the fuck up right now.
Okay.
Going back up in here, so we have like this moment of the song called Bridges from the album Phantom Schmerz, which was released in, I can't remember when was that released?
2016, I think.
2016, Jesus Christ. I've been in the band for that long, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, it feels like yesterday.
It does.
Yeah.
It damn does. So, there are a lot of things that we do together as separate artists and together in Coma, and I truly believe that one of the common things that we do is completely unfiltered, sometimes like almost cheesy or cringy teenage angst. How do you feel about that?
It has its valid point because, you know, people always view teenage angst as something bad or cringy, but if you look at it, it's a mood at a certain point in the life where everything changes. Everything is uncertain. Everything is scary. No one gives a shit about your feelings, and you're just thrown out there. And that's a feeling that I think many older people nowadays also have, or in general, people who don't really fit in, or people with problems or stuff like that. That the feeling of being lost, the teenagey angst, is just a very mainstream way of expressing that feeling, I think.
Sometimes I actually believe that we have a, like, you know, the world changed. In terms that a lot of people, you know, we live in a world which is on a constant descent. I truly think that the decline of humanity is really, really going slower and slower. And like no politics or nothing, but like I don't want to go dive like in whatever. But the thing is, I really want to just point out that there is a decline of humanity and in quality of life for the past, you know, 40 years that I've been alive and understanding this shit. And compared to before, teenage, I mean, these years would stop at 18. Now they do start at 18 or something a bit before, like 15 or something like that. And I think that we are trying to make them as adult as possible. And because of the whole, you know, there's so much information on the internet and bad information that a lot of people aren't really learning well. And so they do not know how to adult. And now, you know, they spread memes to just say like, hey, this is how you should adult, or making fun of that, but when they don't. And now I find myself I'm 36 years old, but I'm still like 16 in my head. And I think this is of course because of me, but it is also because of that shit world. And so a lot of people need, in a way, to, you know, like these adults of our age, you know, that are struggling so much. They don't have the chance to be like we do and do our music and have an outlet like that. They do not have a catharsis. So through us, they just dive in it, you know, and drink whatever we say in order to feel better. I mean, I don't know. It's just a thought.
The thing is, with the decline of humanity, I think that with all the information on the internet, and all the constant comparing to other persons and stuff, you just get you're just stuck in being expected too much of, but at the same time lacking more and more empathy. If you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
The thing is, that shit out there, that's making people crazy and getting more number, and then they drink more and take drugs more and try to kind of cope with everything, because subconsciously everyone longs for empathy, everyone longs for positive feelings, but we have so fucking much lost the ability to be empathic because of so many things that are constantly triggering our sensory inputs, and I think most people can't even process correctly kind of what's happening around them with all the constant stimuli. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I'm just really happy and really glad that music has the ability to put some kind of empathy or unlock empathy in certain people again. Like, for example, you know Antimatter?
Absolutely.
I tried to kill off my empathy years ago because I thought it was like more like a weak spot and stuff, and I wanted to be like tough and shit. And then I listened to Antimatter and I cried for hours. And that's just the power of music.
That is exactly what it is. And I truly think, you know, that we can extend that to almost any kind of art, you know.
Yeah.
You can cry in a movie, you can cry in front of, you know.
Yeah.
I do remember, like, there was this time that I was seeing, someone's kind of exhibition. It was a very big piece, like a black and a white, very argentic kind of feeling,
Yep.
And I felt that there was this mood, and I just sat down in front of it for 45 minutes and just looking at it, and I'm like, I feel shit, like so much, out of a fucking drawing which is not mine, that is not supposed to talk to me, because I'm like not as sensible as visuals as I used to be back then because too much music. But then, fuck, like how much it talks to us, it's insane.
But that's just a point that proves that people are subconsciously afraid to feel.
But of course people are afraid to feel because they're afraid of going out of the comfort zone. I mean, I'm the same. Like, I need to get out of my comfort zone for a ton of shit. I mean...
Yeah, I know the feeling. Like last week I was just like going completely nuts with emotions. I was like, oh fuck. But if you get past this point, it's just a progress of growing, I think.
I truly agree. Can you please check on the chat, because there's something written in German that I have no idea about and I need you to understand and tell me what the fuck that means? Because I can't even just like pronounce it.
Let me lead. More into we're taking power away from us. We're not being able to we give what's the word in English? Responsibility. We willingly refuse responsibility.
Oh yeah. The word is growing nuts into this lack of responsibility.
Yeah.
I think.
I can't.
Oh, you're lagging, brother. You're lagging. Let's just bring you back up here. Hello.
Not anymore?
That seems cool. Let us go back.
Okay. Well, yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. Like I'm not diving into Kant or deeper philosophy because that's a topic people can like really fight about. But I really think that by now, many people don't feel responsible anymore, even for themselves, and that's something that's bad.
But like there are this huge amount of memes talking about how life was way better, like 30, 40 years ago. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that it's true, it's fake. I'm just gonna say that it's been different as well. But it is true that there is a change that happened that makes it worse now, don't it?
Yeah, but memes are a topic that I'm kind of biased about, to be honest.
Oh, I despise them.
I kind of find them funny, but at the same time I'm like, this is just putting really deep topics into an absurdist view. Like, you're making fun of it just to deflect. And like, yeah. Not so sad anymore, it's so funny, but at the end we're like, fuck, that's actually fucking true, and
And I truly think that there's also a lot of problem, linked to the words problems now, like in terms that people are sad, and because they're sad, and sometimes they have mood swings, they're telling that they're bipolar.
Yeah.
And then they, all about, like bipolar memes or whatever, and go nuts about it, and like, you do not know what you talk about.
Yeah.
Like, and I truly think that this is also a problem because it enables people to be a bit more okay with problems that supposedly they need to be taken care of by professionals,
It's like putting everything into relativeness. Like, so many memes about depression. And depression is not a really fun topic. I'm so not good at this.
You are. You're doing really good right now. Like, you're doing very good. I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you.
Jesus fucking Christ.
We make very depressing music.
We are at a point where being depressed is almost become trendy.
Absolutely.
At a real point where people are so depressed that they kill themselves. For fuck's sake, since 2012, 13 friends of mine died because of suicide, overdoses, and accidents. And that's not funny.
No, it's not.
Well, if you have real depression, that's not funny.
But that's the problem. like they try to, make it a bit more okay, that, okay, it's fine if you're depressed, which of course it is. It is very fine when you're depressed. I mean, it's a condition and we gotta live with it. Sometimes it's very difficult for other people. It is also very difficult for us. There are a lot of things about depression that not a lot of people think and know about, which of course is normal, because it's not, by taking 2 minutes over the internet that you know what fucking depression is. It's a fucking condition. It's a ton of things. It's like autism. It's the same. Autism has a lot of different fucking spectrums, and you can be functional as you can be not functional. It's the same with depression. Depression can be someone that has a bit of difficulties. It can be very crippling. There are a lot of fucking opposite with that, and I think that we need to just dive in it and understand that at some point we just need to attend to the problem and not just having the memes to make it okay.
The thing is, we need to destigmatize mental problems. We need to talk openly about them. We need to accept they are here, and we need to talk about the reasons. We have to be empathic anymore. Like, we really need to be there instead of making fun. I mean, sometimes I think that some people who post these memes use it as a form of silent cry for help.
They mostly do.
And it's bad that people feel they have to behave like this because they think like no one is here for me. And we have to end this thinking. Like, even if you just have 2 or 3 good people around you that really understand you or hold you, for fuck's sake, we need to talk about these things.
I have one thing, and I might be, seen a bit more down to earth and maybe a bit of an ugly person here, and I completely assume that. I also truly believe that there are people who really are doing an actual cry for help, which to me, is indeed, something, because they do not know how to behave. I do remember that there are a ton of friends of mine, before they went to see a psychologist, they were really scared about admitting that they needed help, that there was something. But now it's like, it's not only just a cry for help, it's a cry for attention. And that I can't really admit that. You cannot use something as harsh as depression or a mental health problem, this kind of stuff, in order to get attention. That is something that makes me sick.
Yeah.
For instance.
Oh God. I could tell you stories.
Some of them I know, it's fine.
God, fuck.
You know what? Let's make a small music break.
Yes.
Give me a song. Or a part of a song, because let's not just put Phantom Schmerz with 25 minutes.
Something of the new stuff or something of the old stuff?
You just tell me, brother.
Well, I think it's time for Void Chasers, because we're all chasing the fucking void.
Alright, so please speak about Void Chasers.
People asked me like a few weeks ago, why the fuck are you singing Hail Angst, Hail Angst? And that's actually a pretty negative emotion. I was like, no, like it has a double meaning. You can say Hail Angst like hailing it, or Heil Angst like in German to just heal fear. And the thing is, if you accept the emotion, at least in my case, you can reflect it and you can overcome it. And that song is something that sounds super broken and super fucked up, but at the same time it's so empowering. I love it. I hardly say this, but this song is my go-to power song.
One small thing that I want to say.
Yeah.
Do you truly believe, do you believe that there is a way to accept some dark forces and to use them to make good?
That's what I'm doing since years, yeah.
Perfect. Let's just bring that song up.
Press 7 to save it in the archive. Press 9 to hear more options. Press 0.
happening again.
And we are going slowly back out of this maelstrom of a song. It's a very, very, very hard song. I know that it's been a long time that I haven't listened to that album again, but holy shit, man. I forgot about it.
Yeah, like I'm like, you know, we talked yesterday about the set list for the concert next year. And to me, that we play this song live is just going to be nuts.
One question.
Yeah.
It is happening again. How big is Twin Peaks to you?
Oh, fucking hell, I fucking love Twin Peaks, come on. The entire mood, the entire setting, the entire workings with the spiritual side or the paranormal side, it's just, it's a mood. And I view it very symbolically, actually, like for example the Black Lodge, like all the negative emotions and memories in you. And they kind of live outside sometimes. I just love the series to death.
How did you perceive the third season?
It was amazing to see the same actors again. The problem was just that with all the HD cameras, the vibe got lost a bit. It was nice. The ending was a super huge cliffhanger, but I liked it actually overall. I just wish there was a little bit less of Dougie Jones.
So, what are like your biggest influence in terms of like? Did you have like any kind of artistic form? Might that be a movie, a series, music, or something that really got to you so much that is still influencing you to this day? Kind of absolute art to you.
Oh well, there's a lot. Of course, the Life Lover stuff, Apathy. Sometimes I really get inspired by indie bands like Attic Basement or like Codeine, which is more like slowcore. I love shoegaze a lot, but I'm also listening to jazz a lot. It's weird to say, like, for influences for music, like musical wise, I would say like Life Lover and Apathy and maybe some Leached, maybe some Nails, something like this. Umwa, of course. But last band more in terms of really a cold production, of really the feeling of cold music.
There's one question here. And I have a question for Vøid later. When you listen to old Coma stuff today, do you get different feelings now?
Actually no, because like when we're performing Coma songs live, which is super rare, but when we do it, it's always like reliving the memory that I put inside the songs. It's like visiting an old friend or something like that. But it's really harsh. There are songs I cannot sing to this day. But it's harsh. It's harsh.
I do remember Dave Gilmour saying about like a Pink Floyd reunion that after the Live 8 thingy, so the last reunion they've done, I think it was 2008 or something like that, and he was interviewed later on, and someone asked him like, so how do you feel about this reunion? And it's like fucking your ex-wife. It's not cool.
I can't agree. Like, for example, when we're making Coma concerts, I'm always also trying to get the people on stage that are involved with the music, like the family and stuff. And it feels more like coming together and reliving bad shit, but in a way that we hold each other and give each other strength. It's more like a validation of friendship at the end.
That's a very positive message.
It is.
I can just but enjoy that. All right, so what does Déhà think about the older Coma songs? I must admit that it has been my shit and not my shit at the same time, because I've become a very annoying assholes. Like in plural, yes, I've got more assholes in terms of music, because right now, as myself, being a producer, there's some stuff that I'm like, yeah, that could have been better. This could have been this could have been that. Coma to me is all about feelings, and I must admit that I discovered Coma when I produced Phantom Schmerz. So, as horrible as it is to say, anything before Phantom Schmerz doesn't touch me. And it's been a problem because I've tried to dive in it. There are a couple of songs that I might actually like, especially in the album Agony. But apart from that, I mean, I'm just not, because, and maybe it is because it doesn't concern me as much as the new stuff. But at the same time, I must admit that I'm a very old, annoying person when it comes to music, and I need a constant. I need something to touch me. That's why I'm very sorry for a lot of people that actually enjoy this. I do not like Lamp of Murmure, because I think it's shit. Because it just doesn't touch me. Because it's annoying. It's the same thing all over again that has been done and redone. But at the same time, I do understand it touches people. Because it's the same. For instance, you spoke about Life Lover and Apathy. I cannot stand both of these bands. But at the same time, I will give you a band that I love, and you will say, dude, that's a pure copy of Hypothermia. It's shit. But it's going to touch me. That's the thing. So, maybe it's that's a nice one.
It's all about emotion. It's yeah.
No, you're right. It is all about emotions.
Just for 20. Benny, he was our bassist for a while. He's a huge dude.
So, why Coma and period?
That's a good question.
Bring it on.
When I founded the band, I wanted to express with the band name how I felt at the time. And I felt like being comatose, and the period behind that was like, when you finish a sentence, it's coma, period. Like, that's it. You're there. Dot.
So it's like adding, like a big end point to something. Like it's a big emphasis.
Exactly. It's like okay, we realize we're here, but we're queer. No, it's like we're here. And that's the thing. All
right. I can only but enjoy that. So one question.
And also, I love you too, Benny.
Yeah, you said I love your voice, but I do not like I do not love you, Déhà. So thank you very much, Benny. So I want to know about Phantom Schmerz. Yes, please go for it. Answer that.
We're here, but why? No? No idea. Let's just enjoy the ride. Okay, what did you say there?
Ezekiel, si t'as un petit peu le temps, je veux dire, explique un petit peu plus, parce qu'on n'arrive pas forcément à comprendre ce que tu viens de dire.
What?
Yeah, I just spoke to him in French, because I know he's French. He's an old friend of mine.
Okay.
So I want to know about Phantom Schmerz. I want to know how it happened, why an album that big, and what are how do you feel? How has this album been a point in your discography? And I don't mean because of me.
That's a harsh topic. Okay,
I know.
It's a harsh topic.
I know.
Hang on, you need a cigarette.
You can just drop you cannot answer a question. That is no issue.
Yeah, I know, but at the same time, I would refuse to reflect something that hurts or touches me. So where's the reason in that? Well, Phantom Schmerz. I think I will never make a song that intends like that. The entirety of the album was written half on the road, because like 2015, 2016, I was almost living out of a suitcase in Nuremberg and Hamburg and Bremen and Leipzig and all around Germany actually. I just broke up with my ex back then. I was completely fucked by social situations. I was alcoholic. I took way too much drugs, way too much different drugs. And to be really honest, much of those 2 years after that, I don't really remember actually, except the really bad things. And just this feeling of being completely lost and having no reason and no sense where to go or what to do, and just running around the entire night talking with homeless people and talking with dealers and hanging around in the rain and stuff, and just with no idea and no phone and no shit. It was a mess. It was a fucking mess, and I'm just fucking glad it's over. But the entirety of the emotion had to go out somewhere. So at that same time, I was like hooking up with Mo, our old guitarist, you know? And we started to hang out in all those places in groups. Like almost half of the band was with me at some points. And we just wrote riffs, and I wrote down lyrics on my phone, and we just recorded step by step, and at the end it just became this huge thing. To this day I do not know how the fuck I came up with like 4 tempo changes and 1 time signature change while being completely fucked. I recorded the vocals for that song having kidney failure in my apartment because I took so many drugs that my kidneys just gave up. It was a horrible fucking time.
Don't do this at home, kids.
What?
Do not do this at home, kids.
I mean, I remember at one point you wrote me, like I sent you the vocals for Forgotten Omega. And you told me like, dude, those vocals are so fucked up, I can't even work really with them. And that was the point where I thought like, okay, this is not going according to plan. Now.
Yeah, that's me being a bitch of a producer sometimes.
Okay, I like to be pushed to my limits, and actually it's your achievement that I stopped being so fucked up.
Sorry, I'm happy to just, because of that, You're not the first person that gets sober, after I speak to them, so I'm actually really happy with that. It's not my goal, it's not my life goal, but I'm really happy that it does, because,
The only problem was like the alcohol withdrawal. I was really fucked up. Like I just was in my apartment 1 week with cramps and everything, but I did it, and everything went well. So I'm just glad.
Yeah, I mean, it does happen, when it's very difficult at some point. I mean, I do remember when I stopped smoking, I had no choice but just to, just go in one shot, and it was very difficult for the first weeks. But I truly believe that at some point, it's a very positive thing, even though I do miss smoking, and seeing you smoke makes me fucking sick too, because I really want to have a lot of cigarettes. It's fine, you can keep on. So, is Phantom Schmerz like a point where you don't want to go back to, and at the same time you're like, it's still a part of me, but not no more?
I will always want to go back to Phantom Schmerz, because I will always want to remind myself that my mind is stronger than all the shit around me. If that makes sense.
Man, it doesn't only make sense. I mean, it's a fucking positive message for all the people watching us right now, which is 10 people. Thank you very much for being there, you people. If you have, of course, any question you can ask. If you just joined up, you are right now here with Vøid and myself. We are talking about Coma, which is a very, 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 very different band that mixes up black metal, noise, industrial, ambient, positive stuff, and amazing messages. If you would want to listen to, you have the 2 links down. You have the Facebook page and the Bandcamp page. And voila. Yes, please.
You know what really amazes me? Because we are so known in my town as being the most fucked up and most negative band ever. And as soon as I take the lyrics and explain to them what the shit means and stuff, they're like, oh, that's fucking positive.
Yeah.
That's weird and amazing at the same time.
I think it has to be the best thing, because of course a lot of things have to be interpreted by, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. I do enjoy the fact that sometimes I can be, we can be very metaphorical in the way that we speak and, putting shit up, but at the same time I cannot but enjoy how we can, when we speak to people, they understand. And once they understand something, it's something completely different because it's out of us. It's like, when some people come to me and they tell me, oh, the Ave Maria 2 really makes me feel like that and like this, and I feel that, and I feel that, and I'm like, that's cool for you, but it would never happen to me. And that's the thing.
That's the thing, yeah, like people really have to make their own experiences. And at the end, words and music are also just instruments. You don't need to understand the lyrics. I think you need to feel the music.
So now I want to speak about something because I just heard, like, we are right now on the song Dance Burning Butterfly out of Phantom Schmerz in the background. I was speaking about, you can read, there's a question from Benny.
Nabengrund is a close friend of mine. He's a really chill dude. Same with Wundkokon. They're usually Nabengrund and Wundkokon, they're friends of mine. Because we met at concerts, and when I lived in Germany, in southern Germany for a while, I was also hooking up with Nabengrund and stuff. And same with Wundkokon, he was in the same circle of friends that I was in Germany. And they both picked the music, and I was like, you know what, why don't you just feature? I would be like super honored by it, and they did it.
I must actually say something about Wundkokon because I've known the guy for more than 10 years right now, and he's been featuring in Imbre Luminis and Idel for quite a while actually. He is a true total artist that I truly think that not a lot of people are. He feels so much, and that the way that he does whatever art that he's doing, because he's mostly doing, spoken word on weird music that I happily compose for the last 2 albums that he's been doing with Wundkokon. It's a hit or miss. Either you love it, either you hate it. Of course, it's in German, so it's a bit more difficult, for non-German people, but I have the chance that when I work with him, like all the time, he's always, giving me the actual German thing, the translation and the rough, what's the name, like the German expressions, which are very unique, and I truly love that. And yes, Geistreich was fantastic. It was one of the best things that I also took part in. It's been fantastic, like knowing, because it's called Benjamin, so it's been, fantastic to know about him, and then, he's in your circle of friends too. How fucking convenient and awesome that is. Honestly, like, it's been fucking awesome, and I'm like, dude, you fucking know the guy? I'm like, yeah, I'm standing with him in the same room. Like, what the fuck? So cool.
I remember when we did the concert in the living room of a friend.
Yeah.
He played, and then I played, like Emilian said. And when he was playing his set, the entire mood in the room just went darkened down, and just with his presence and how he's doing things, it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah. By the way, like, if there would be one or a couple of artists, dead or alive, that you would love to have them on Coma, which one would there be? Dead or alive? Thank you very much. The next question. No, I'm joking.
Let me think for a second. Firstly, Rithin, of course.
Ooh.
Rithin, the vocalist, ex-vocalist of Igor,
Oh.
the female one.
Laure Le Prunedec.
Yep, and then I'd really love, even though it's a little bit of cliche, but to have the vocalist of Harakiri for the Sky for a part. And Amun-Ra, of course, but that will never happen.
So Amun-Ra, or you mean Colin, the singer?
Yes, of course.
Colin, okay.
Colin is what he does live with his emotions and the demons he's battling with every concert. It's just inspiring. I had the pleasure to see them live in Germany, and I was just blown away. He didn't even have vocals or effects on his vocals. It was just raw emotion. Amazing.
I will never forget the very first time I heard Mass 3.
Mass 3 was a fucking huge.
Oh yeah,
huge.
I got fucking destroyed by that album. And I remember that I've seen him live as well, like back then in, very small room. I could take, I don't know, like 200 people maybe, something like that back then. I think it was more than 15 years ago. And it was so mind-blowing that at some point I just looked at that and I just didn't move. Like, just, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of thing, that, I want to feel this again and again and again. So, let's make a music break. Which song do you want me to put? Or which part of which song do you want me to put?
Why don't we play the first song of the first part of I Want to Forget until the sample comes, after the cheesy guitar.
So after the cheesy guitar, I want to forget.
No, like the beginning until.
Yeah, at the beginning. All right then. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is I Want to Forget out of the triple CD album named Never Forgive, Never Forget, Never Heal. Here we go.
Never.
verdammt, wenn ich nur diese verfickten Arzt nicht hätte. Ich will mir jetzt einfach die verfickte Scheiß-Toilette reinschmeißen. Ich hab die Schnauze so verfickt voll, ey. To face the day, to face the way of home. To face the day, to face the way of home. And I see nothing but tears. I leave the arms behind your heart. When I see nothing but fears, I want to forget.
And we are slowly getting back after, I don't know, like 7 minutes or something, whatever. I mean, I don't know. That song is like 20 minutes anyway, so fuck that shit. So, my first question here is...
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Of course, samples. Why samples? What kind of samples? Why is it really a big part of the band? Because it is.
We're using usually two kinds of samples. We use sometimes samples from movies, but not that much. We started to use WhatsApp voicemails from us as samples in the band for maximum authenticity. Like, you know, when there's a bad moment, when there's something happening, press record, use it all over again.
That song, so what does it speak about? You wrote the lyrics. If it's too much,
Well,
I
the
can't
Never
wait.
Forget CD. No, it's okay. The Never Forget album. Like the three albums are a concept. Never Forgive is all about hatred and disgust and destruction and just all the violent shit. But at the end, with Never Forget, you know, it's like it's connected with MRI sounds. And what I did there is I used experiences from the past and viewpoints from the past to reflect about how I felt and where it brought me. And it's all connected with MRI machine sounds, because that's usually the things I think about when I'm in an MRI machine. So even those sounds are real recordings. And it's basically a reflection about the age of 16 until now, mixed with current bad stuff. For example, the sample that is in there, I recorded after one of my best friends told me that he got a diagnosis with a terminal disease, let's say like that, and it's just an ode to living and growing and handling your own expectations and your own progress. If that makes sense.
It does. So actually, I mean, like we have any kind, like the way that we do music is, of course, you know, like a way to express ourselves and everything. So here we can safely say that Coma is you first. First thing first, it is only you and has always been you only. And there are some people gravitating, you know, around Coma who are ex-members or not ex-members, featuring artists and this kind of people who are still part of the family. And at the same time, you know, like there's some kind of, it's a collective, but then it's not a collective thing, but it's you. It's your outlet. It's a very selfish outlet for you. And we understand that, so we grow around you. That's my vision of it. Is that the case or not?
I always define it like, yeah, it is my outlet and I'm progressing much things with that. But at the same time, the music alone and the vibe and the mood is giving the other people around the band also so much room to reflect and think and grow and change, and it's a big therapy group. But I'm always amazed and touched and moved when, for example, our drummer, Dominic, sometimes he's crying on stage just because the music moves him so much, and then he just can reflect about his own problems and he grows with it because it gives a safe space to let emotions out.
So once again, you know, it's always about like catharsis, because that's what we're talking about, right? Speaking about catharsis, sorry.
What?
No, go for it.
No, I just said catharsis is the main goal.
Perfect. And so I wanted to jump on that. You know, catharsis, you know, can be a really, really, really ritualistic thing. So I want to point out the, you know, elephant in the room right now. You have a shit ton amounts of tattoos.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are definitely about Coma.
Yeah.
So for instance, I chose myself to really make it that whenever that I tattoo something on myself that speaks about my music, I want it to be very cryptic, or that we can't see it super well. And being honest, I just have 2 tattoos like that, you know. But it is completely different with you. We can really see, we can read them, all of them. So, why? That's my question.
I always thought that tattoos should have, even if it's cliche, a deeper meaning. And when I started to make the music, when it got really deep at the end of 2014, I decided my body is my temple, like in you know, like in that.
Yeah, that's cliche.
Saying, yeah. And I want to express what I do, and I want to immortalize what I do on my body because I stand for it. There's a certain passage in the song "Never Forgive" where I'm literally singing about that, actually, where I'm singing I wear my hurt for all to see and scream my heart apart, and that's just I think to make music like this you have to live like this, so I'm also living with my body for this.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the same with visuals, with videos, with stage lights and stuff. Everything has to be one cohesive big piece.
So I would say that Coma is not just only music. It is, some kind of like a full artistic formula. Like, I don't want to be exaggerating it, but like for instance, when you go with hip hop, like we're not talking about rap, we're talking about hip hop. So the hip hop was, the dance people, like break dance people, the tagging things, artistic things, and then came the hip hop. So without, of course, sounding like insanely pompous like that, but do you actually think that what you do with Coma mixture of visuals, like either, it's still visuals or videos and the music, like they actually have also kind of the same goal, including the fact that, it's a group therapy thingy?
I will never say something about that because I think it's not my place to say something about that.
I get it.
I think that this is something that has the potential to go so deep for certain people that everyone has to make their own mind. I will never go out there and be like, oh yeah, we're like this and this and this is a scene and this is a group therapy and stuff like that. I mean, I say it in a jokey way, of course, but at the end, everyone has to make their own picture of it.
How do you feel about people understanding your music? Like, I mean it in a weird way because, for instance, if I speak about my album Cruel Words, it's a very personal and a very deep album. And it's not that I don't want people to understand it, but I do not want to explain what it is. So I had like some people coming to me and telling me, like this is how they felt when they listened to the album and everything. There was a very small time in the beginning when I thought to myself that that's not what I want. Like, I don't want people to know either, what I do express, and I do not want them to misinterpret my thing, which of course is completely paradoxical because if I just put it out of the world, people will interpret it as they want. It's not my goal. But how do you feel when people come to you and tell you, Coma touched me like that, that, and that?
That's a double-edged sword, and I want to point out that I posted the lyrics earlier. It's one time only because I never published the lyrics. At the other hand, I'm happy and I feel moved that it can help people and that the people get something out of it. At the other side, I think to myself, fuck, I don't want you to feel like this. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. I'm always happy and sad at the same time because if someone tells me I get your music, it means they really have a shitload of problems, usually, just like me. And
yeah, but they do want to get better.
Yeah, and I think the will to get better, the power and the drive to get over shit like that, no matter how, is the best thing in the world.
I think the same too, and I mean, I live like for this kind of stuff, I admit. I mean, right now with my own music, like I'm being selfish and you know about it too. So that's also why I really am, of course, happy to be in the band / produce / do whatever, compose and all of that, but it is also something that really talks to me. Because the great thing is that I have bands, and I do not mean my own stuff, but I have bands, where I'm a part of, like, for example, Cult of Erinyes, where I compose, I do vocals, I do a couple of things, but the main person is still, Corvus, and Corvus does a lot of things there, and it's not that I'm doing things to please him only, but I do know that it is part of certain judgment, which I know he's going to tell me the great thing that I need to know, like, hey, I like that vocal part, but can you do it better, like this and that, because I want it to speak to me, which is okay. But, and I do not say this, as it's not a compliment or something that makes it better, it just makes it different, but Coma is the closest band that feels like me and like home, where it's not me, if you catch my drift.
Yeah. Fuck, I feel honored.
But that is truly how I feel, because there is no way for me to just like listen to music and like, I'm not touched by this. Of course I will be always touched by this, because I will, give my 100% to go and make the music for that. But Coma, despite the fact that it is not me, I feel it could have been or it could be. And at the same time, I have this bit of a step back to have, this way of thinking and seeing the music and who you are and what you do and how you do it with some kind of another set of ears and eyes, and telling to myself, like, I really want to see that guy, hug the shit out of him, and make the best music we can. I don't know, it's very, very hard to explain,
It reminds me so much of the moment where you joined Coma, actually.
Oh, that was not so long ago, and I still feel like it was a long fucking time ago.
No, it was amazing because I sent you the lyrics and the vocals for the middle part of Phantom Schmerz, and you were like, dude, you're too fucked up, that sounds like shit, but the lyrics speak to me, let me do it. And from that point on, it was just a fucking match in heaven. Like, it feels like home. It feels like family.
Yeah, but that's exactly how it feels. How about we put that part right now?
Okay, fine with me.
Let's do this. So, I want to speak a bit about this thing. So, I was producing Coma's album Phantom Schmerz, and I wasn't supposed to almost do anything else than just that, like producing it. And my way to produce things, I mean, a lot of people know, some don't. I work with the music and for the music. So if there's something that I think that is not okay, I would speak about it and try to make it that if you're okay with that, like as a band member and as an artistic choice, and you want that stuff to stay, even if I don't like it, I'm cool with it. That's the way it is. So there were vocals that Vøid here sang, and they were okay, but not so awesome. And I remember that I told him, like, can you remake them? And you were telling me, like, I can't remake them before a long time or something. And I'm like, okay, these lyrics really speak to me. So if you allow me, I would love to make it. And just if you like, and only if you like, we will see what's happening. And he said me, okay, go. And this is where I did this part. And it speaks to me because it speaks to me like when I do Nadir, for instance. So it's like, it is a part of me. It is something that might have happened to me, which did not. But it still feels like home in a weird manner. And this is why I felt this thing. And it was me clean singing. And back then I was not really comfortable with my clean singing as much as I'm right now. It was very, very difficult to really put what I wanted, because when I had this moment, I'm like, this is going to sound like a typical punk rock ballad on the album, And that's why I love this part, because it just feels like that. And it feels like a very cheesy, poppy moment. And to me, it was so meaningful that you liked it, that no fucking joke. Like, I don't know if you know about that, but that's a true fucking story. So after you agreed with that, and then I finished the whole album, and you got it, and you're like, okay, that's the final version, we do not need anything else. Cool. I took this part and I looped it for 85 minutes in an MP3 version, and I put it on my phone because I knew I had to be on the drive at some point, and that would have been that long. It was when I was taking planes back then, and I needed to be able to hear that stuff without just going back on, repeat. And I just put it up, I remember 84 or 85 minutes of that in repeat. And it was one of the best things that I ever listened to, because once again, it felt like home, and it didn't feel like me, but then it was, and then it doesn't, and then it's so fucking paradoxical that it makes me... So,
it's the phantom pain of lost ones.
Phantom pain of fucking lost one, which is a phrase that I'm using a lot in my own music, thanks to him. So let's put this on. So this is the middle part of Phantom Schmerz in the album Phantom Schmerz. And I must say that all the people who will enjoy any kind of very emotional music are really going to enjoy this very much. So please enjoy. All right, let's go back. So yeah, this is really one of the best thing I've ever sung in my whole goddamn fucking career. And once again, I am very happy that you liked it and that it has been the beginning of the new friendship.
Oui, c'est clair. You know how this shit is gonna be like live, right?
By God, yeah, if we manage to do this live, this is going to be just
Like we went through the set list yesterday, like we're playing an hour next year in Switzerland, and it's all the emotional parts from all the emotional songs, and we're just gonna die.
I think
We're gonna die.
it has to be like, I'm not gonna say just a one shot, but we can't play this more than 5 times in a lifetime.
Nope.
Already one time is big.
Nope.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel. Sorry, what?
I told the people probably it's gonna be a one shot and we're gonna film it. So
It would be nice if we can film it. Even though I do like this. You needed to be there and that's it. At the same time, I know that not a lot of people will be able to move and do this and all of that and blah 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 and all of this, but. I really would love if we can film it and if I can have, all the separated shit and mix and master it and here you go, live album, bam.
we have 4 cameras, so it's gonna be fine.
Good. And I'm gonna ask, and I'm gonna bring, if I can, I'm gonna bring like everything, like so we can have outputs, so we can record all that shit. That's something that I really like when I did the Déhà gig in Brutal Assault. Like, even though it was just one camera, but I'm really happy that I managed to get it and that I managed to actually get the sound and do something which is, kind of a bit comprehensible, even though, the quality wasn't the best, but at the same time, for where we are, what we could do and how we did that, yeah, I mean, I'm so proud of it. And I think that, same thing, this kind of stuff, it's just an experience, and I think why it is an experience, people need to be able to see that. In terms that's why I put my music for free. I need it to be available.
Yeah, same here. It's always on there for free. Can I suggest something?
Please do.
Can we put a 3-minute song for a mood changer, maybe?
Absolutely. Tell me which one.
Breather.
Breather. Speak about that song, please. If you can.
It's a song talking about physical abuse in the childhood and stuff. But after Phantom Schmerz, I need something to get my anger level up because this is just not good.
Here we go.
Physical abuse in the childhood.
Glitches, 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 glitches.
Bitches.
Yeah, that's a mood breaker in a way, you know. I mean, I think it's a very, very, very violent song. I love it.
Yeah. Playing with the moods.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much what we do. And this is what I wanted to speak about. I mean, this you see how good of an MC that I am, you know? You see? And this is how good of an MC that I am.
Yeah, in the house. I think my PC crashed. No,
No, that's the music. That would actually be, you know, a great, you know, like title of a next album, you know, like I think my body crashed. No, it's just Coma, you know.
There are no brakes on the Coma train.
They're only breakdowns.
Oh.
So my question was,
Okay.
you've got, even before I came in, you had a lot of different styles in Coma. But what we can really check is that there is a base of black metal, there's a base of industrial / noise, and there's a complete different thing, which is a very, very deep and emotional and ultra melodic side of it, that we can find as well on the Light EP. And I really want to speak about that.
Okay.
So, recently, something happened with the Light EP. Please, explain about that.
You fucker. You
I know.
fucker.
I know. So I want to speak, you know, like about how many times we fucking fail, but I want to speak about how many times we fucking succeed, brother.
I won a contest, yeah.
Just in case you didn't understand, he won a contest.
Yeah. I won a contest. With
Come on,
tracks
say
from the
more,
back.
goddammit!
Oh, for fuck's sake! Okay, yeah. Well, there's an art contest in Austria from the Composers Association, and friends of mine kind of forced me to take part in it because I hate contests.
True.
And I won. So yeah.
Isn't this one of the best, you know, way to show, you know, I mean, showing that, because I do know that, you know, Coma is very deep in the underground. Not a lot of people know about it, and I truly think that this is also a way to just say, like, hello. Like, not only we do exist, but we exist well.
To
You
be
know what I
honest,
mean?
I have no idea if those people know what they got themselves into, actually, because it's like artists and university people and like studied artists and stuff. And I don't think they know what they got themselves into, because next year I have to play there and it's gonna be a mess.
Well, playing it is going to be just fucking awesome, as much as I really want to say it. I can't feel that it's going to be a bad thing. I mean, it's... Bring it?
For us, it's not gonna be a bad thing, but I think both people would just sit there and be like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, but that's a good thing. I mean, we need people to understand, you know, like how much it's going to be weird. I mean, that's how I feel. Like, they really need to notice that this kind of music actually exists for a very specific reason, you know, and that we're bringing that thing to them, you know. Like, once again, I know that I'm doing a lot of hip-hop thingy, but hip-hop was talking about, you know, like how it was back then in the streets, you know. It was journalism that wasn't biased by any fucking stupid thing or politics or whatever. We were just talking about what we were seeing. This is pretty much the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm exaggerating my vision.
Let me answer that with something a friend of mine told me. He was like, it's about time that the mainstream realizes that there are people with problems and that there are people expressing their problems. And I think in that case it's nice, because just like rap, it can be a means of transporting messages to a broader audience. But at the same time, I'm like,
So how about just for a change of moods too, we just put. I want to put the song "Crystal Heart."
Yeah, of course. Yeah, go for it.
I think that song really says something about this, like the kind of the aforementioned way of we feel stuff, and at the same time it's us, you know.
But it's also funny and weird because if you remember back, we made this EP in the second lockdown in Germany, and I think it captures the mood actually.
It
really
does.
Well.
It does.
It does.
That's why I want to show that too, because we showed a lot of, we showed like a couple of harshness, we showed like old stuff, I mean older stuff, not really old. And
yeah?
Please tell me.
You do know that I will ask you later to put something from Drown on and maybe Never Forgive as an outro and stuff.
Oh, Never Forgive is gonna be the last song we put, that's definite.
That's the end boss. That's the end boss of Breaking Down.
Mm-hmm. And I actually wanted you to put some very like older Coma stuff too, and I've got the Drone album here, so that's no problem. So this is the song Crystal Heart out of the ambient EP, which is called Light. Here we go. You to put some very. leave the song to finish by itself slowly because it's a very long song, and I want everyone like to actually listen to this EP in its entirety. But I really want like also to address the other elephant in the room, which is, yeah, we have a lot of elephants in the rooms, it seems. But the first thing is, you are drawn to repetitions. Like repetitions of things, of patterns, and all of this thing, noisy, and all of this thing. So, what kind of musical background do you have? Have you ever learned an instrument? Is it something that you've learned by yourself? This kind of stuff.
Well, I learned accordion when I was 6 years old.
What the fuck? How did I know about it? I want to buy you an accordion right now.
I have one. It's I used the accordion even on Phantom Schmerz at 2 songs.
So that was you.
Yep.
And then like 7 years after that, I'm hearing that shit. Please, let's have more like dark accordion stuff in our happy music.
Doable. I learned it for 10 years with special leaning towards jazz music instead of folk music. Then I switched to keyboards. Did keyboards 2 years. Besides that, I started to learn drums. So I played drums for a few years, learned bass and synthesizers.
How about guitars? You play guitar in another band.
Ah, true, I play guitar too. Yeah, and I learned guitar. Yeah, true. Yeah, but also by myself.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I have way too much time on my hands.
Third elephant in the room. So, vocals.
Oh yeah, vocals. Yeah, I think it's fun. Like,
Vocals. So what? Really? I mean, I know because like I've talked to a lot of different artists, and there are people who tell me I'm a guitarist. I will never want to be a vocalist. So, I didn't feel that way. I actually like the fact of being a guitarist on stage. I like the fact of being a singer on stage, a bassist on stage. I mean, it's different thing in different like trips, if I can just put it this way. Do you feel the same?
to be honest, I always felt the safest and the best as drummer.
Is it because you're in the back?
Yep.
No, because like really, like there are a lot of people that are telling me like I really like being on the drums because I'm in the back and no one cares about me and I just do my job.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But you're the frontman of Coma. What the fuck?
It happened by accident. I want like at the very beginning at Agony Times, we had 4 vocalists in the band because I refused to do vocals, and they just weren't good enough. They weren't singers. They were just basically they were junkies who were trying to do something, and nothing bad with that. But I was like, if I want to express myself, I might have to step up, and then I just started screaming.
So you do understand and believe into the aesthetics of screaming in music, right? Any kind of music.
Yes, I believe the voice is a powerful instrument, but the only thing I really don't like is how vocalists see themselves in most of the bands. Because you're just an instrument. You're not some rock god, you're an instrument.
So like you mean in terms like of the ego problem, right?
Yeah, like for example Guns N' Roses. What the fuck? Or Mötley Crüe. What the fuck? I will never understand that.
I think there's a difference here. I want to jump on that. Like maybe you're making like a too much of a same thing between being a vocalist and being a frontman.
Yes.
Because being a frontman, like for instance, like I don't want to, but Détruire, so my crust band from Brussels, we did one concert, and we're 2 vocalists. There's myself and there's Steph. Steph doesn't play any instrument apart from his vocals, and I play guitar. I'm not the front man of the band in a way because he's the one that moves around and he's the front. But we're vocalists. See the point here?
Yeah, that's exactly the method back in the day. Back in the day, Dominic was our frontman.
No.
I always put him in the front and me somewhere in the back and the others in the back.
So now I wanna address also another thing because we're talking about like how you like to be put in the back and stuff. So You can say, like, you cannot answer that question, but I really want to know about this if, you know, you really want to answer about it. There is a use in Coma of masks, and I want to know why. If you can explain this to the people who are not close to your music and not understanding it well right now or discovering it.
Well, it started back in the day. First, when I started, it was an idea to separate myself from the other band I was in because they really didn't like Coma. But then again, I also thought, like, if I put a mask on, I put like a shield between my face and the people who see me. And then when I'm in my own separate room, I can focus on the emotions, basically. Because I don't see shit in that thing. And it just became for me a method of getting more introspective on stage.
So is it like some kind of way to enable yourself?
Yes, it's unleashing the void. That's what people say.
Mm-hmm. All right, I feel that.
It's also funny because, like, at video shoots and stuff like that, people always tell me, like, as soon as I have the mask on, my whole body language changes, my whole behavior changes, and I can never see that. But of course, apparently it's working.
I think it does. I mean, that's why, you know, the people have visuals on stage too. I mean, we have to understand that there's a difference between, you know, doing a concert, playing a show, doing something else. And I think Coma is the mixture of a lot of things, which enables the greatest thing, all of that together in one. For instance, you are not faking yourself. You're not saying that you need the mask to be okay. It's like you're just, that's the way it is. And you don't give a shit whatever people think about that.
It's just a tool in the end to lose restraints that I basically would have if people would read my emotions while performing, actually, I think.
Perfect. And I would like to know which song you want me to put now from the Drown album.
Well, I'm kind of biased. I'm stuck between Overflow and Dehumanize, but I think Dehumanize would be more fitting.
So Dehumanize, you say?
Yeah.
Give me one moment.
I give you 2.
Oh, how nice of you. Give me 2 moments. How long is 1 moment?
21, 22, 23.
I like that. All right then.
Oh, that's so old. The song basically is by now 7 years old. Fuck my life.
And here we go. This is Dehumanize out of the Drown EP without the ambient intro.
No! By now 7 years old. Fuck.
go. And indeed, that song is a fucking blast. So the title of the song is Dehumanized. Here you go. I mean, he wrote it. And it's on the Drown EP, DR_OWN. And it's on the Bandcamp thing that you can see on the screen, actually, like all below. I know I put this like with a, like it's so big, but I really want people to understand this is the Bandcamp links. So we are entering right now the very last moment that we're gonna have talking, because every good thing comes to an end. That includes, life, orgasm, blowjob, female blowjob, transgender blowjob. Any kind of blowjob really does the job. I mean, if I can just say that. So, if any one of you guys who are still in the chat and being active or not, if you have any question to ask, either my very good friend here, Vøid, or myself, please do help yourselves. And to answer that question, yes, I said that I do not feel so much the old songs. And the only thing that I do understand right now is that I am very wrong. It's that simple. So, I want to know first.
Yeah.
Tell me, no, we have like a 1 or 2 seconds delay, so please go for it.
Well, the Drown EP was recorded in the basement of, like the houses where like the youth can have like parties and stuff and meetings from state.
Yeah.
Yeah, we recorded there in the basement. And apparently people were so afraid because of my screaming that even the pizza delivery guy didn't come. That was so fantastic. He just pushed the pizza there and ran.
That reminds me of when we recorded with Arno's Trouble at my old place back then. It was just a 30-meter square apartment. We recorded the vocals of Wield I Love Thing. We did it like in 2 or 3 days because we didn't have much time, and I was trying to do it during the day, so when people would be working, so I wouldn't be, too much of a bitch. Yeah. And I found a big word on my apartment door, something like, yeah, we do not like when people are screaming like they're dying something, or dying dogs or dying cats. And I answered something like, sorry, we're doing art you will never understand. And they never answered. That was so fun. So Benny says, you talked about using an actual MRI sound. What was the weirdest gimmick you ever used in a song? There's a hidden story there. There's a private joke there. I want to know all about it, man.
So during the Drown EP, I was always drunk on absinthe, and I ate camembert cheese like a fucking bastard because I had no other food. Which is the worst combination humanly possible. And we were recording actually, like vocals. I think it was for Overflow. And I puked, I didn't feel good. I kind of fell towards the wall, and the heater crashed down on my toe. And I screamed like a fucking bitch while gurgling camembert, and that sound is on there.
It is fantastic. I'm in. I actually have, as well I have a moment where I think it's on the Morbus album of Idar, where I think it's at the end of the first song. I actually vomited and I kept the sound, and I had to cut it because I actually puked and I laughed. Because in my head it was like, oh my god, no, I have to clean all of that right now, because cleaning the microphone, opening it, and all of this, and you have like all these noises right there, and I'm like, it fits the music, but then I'm like, who's gonna clean now?
That's exactly, I believe, how grindcore is made.
You're reducing grindcore to puking noise. That's not very, it's not very inclusive. You should do your job a bit. Come on.
I swallowed smoke. Fuck.
Stop smoking.
Yes, I know.
Can both of you describe how did your vocal performance evolve from the beginning? Any crucial moments and the memorable experiments you did to improve and extend your abilities? That's a great question. You start.
Okay. Well, I think the moment I got sober in 2017, 2018, because I realized I could have much more control over my voice when I record sober. As simple as that. And from then on, it was just like practicing and doing stuff. I never have a technique. I always say like, when the emotion is there and you feel it, it comes out as it should. Kinda. But
yeah, I deleted a lot of fucking takes in Phantom Schmerz.
I was so fucking high. That was not good.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna say like almost the same, but I think it was when I came here in Brussels, when I started to have my vocal cabin, because that really made me able to train way much more often than usual, and of course from 2 years ago, stopping smoking, that was a great advancement in terms of like reaching higher notes and not being, you know, completely out of breath and everything. And I'm saying this to a guy holding a cigarette in his hands.
You say it's an advancement, but you will never achieve Tom Waits level doing this.
Bitch, please, like, give me some time, like, in getting up in the morning, like, at 8 fucking a.m., I'm speaking like fucking Tom Waits. Even
Okay.
Tom Expects, if you want.
I even believe you.
I will sample that shit. That sample that I gave you, like, two days after, like, when I was, like, you know, with this thing, that's kind of the same shit, but worse in the morning.
Really?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Like, in the morning, it almost sounds like a typical Fry sound. Really up like that. Like, it's really bad. Like, I actually did a sample. the nice one. Tom Expect. Nice. I think you're the only one that heard my joke. But anyway, because I said Tom Waits, Tomo, and Tom Expects. You know, it's... Here you go. Gets the joke now. Austrian people. I love you. Anyway, what I was saying, I can't remember. Fuck it. Anyway, I didn't know what, I don't know what to say more. So I'm gonna do, you know, like the very stupid thing that everyone does at the end of an interview.
Oh god. Okay.
Which is very simple. I'm gonna tell you things, and you're gonna say the first thing that comes into your head.
Oh, okay.
If you're not politically correct, I will leave the band. Publicly. I will still work on that. I mean, it's fine.
Stupid. That's
Excellent.
stupid.
So,
Stupid.
black metal,
War.
industrial,
Coldness.
WhatsApp,
Useful.
microphone,
Oh god.
works, water,
What?
water,
Water.
yeah,
Well needed.
pretty cool, death,
Nature.
nice one. So, Satan,
The enemy. The opposite.
that's good.
The light bringer. The force against the norm.
And I'm gonna end with music.
Life.
Excellent. So the very, 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 very last word is yours before I will be streaming the song Never Forgive and then say goodbye to the people.
Well, that was pretty awkward. That was pretty uncomfortable. I usually never talk open to people about stuff like that, but okay. It was a pleasure. Thank you all for listening and be safe.
All right, so we will be right back in exactly 7 minutes 35, something like that. After we just hear that song, which is pretty much the apogee of violence that actually I've done with Coma, but please.
Never Forgive is the song Why My Drummer Hates Me. Okay.
Let's do this. This is Never Forgive, out of the album Never Forgive.
Bye bye, people.
So my dear fantastic people, we thank you very, 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 very much for being here with us for more than 2 hours of time. Thank you very much for this. Thank you very much to my man Vøid right there for being there, for having a roller coaster of emotions since the beginning of that thing. I wish every single one of you to be well, to enjoy life, to enjoy as much as everything, like for instance blowjobs or a nice cup of tea.
Got butts in fishnets!
There you go. You guys be... And this is how we end the live stream. You guys be well. Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye.